Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and to our coffee times together. Today I figured, since I already talked to you about my favorite Netflix horror movies, we would address today the ones that I did not enjoy so much. I have a list for you of 9 movies. Now, some of them are kind of in the gray area, meaning they were okay, but I was disappointed because I was kind of expecting something more from these movies, and then there's a couple of others that were just bad. So we're just gonna address those. Even though I'm so happy that Netflix did put a lot of effort last year to bring us more horror, I think they had a couple of flops. So let's go and check those 9 movies.
It's coffee time.
First, let's talk about one of the ones that I hated the most, and that is Wounds. And this one came out in 2019. Now, this movie, I swear the first 10 minutes felt like 3 hours, and I already wanted to turn this off. I don't know why I didn't. I'm a completionist. I kind of tend to like to finish things. So I pushed myself through the movie, and I just wanted it to end. It was so messy. And I mean, the main actors are good actors, and I don't have anything against them. I think their acting is good, but just the script that they were giving and the way this movie was edited, it just, there was nothing that could save them from that. And it is basically this movie where a guy works in a bar, and there is a group of teens that forget their phone one day, and he is trying to find out who is this teen to give the phone back, and he finds pictures of like dead bodies and things like that. I thought it was gonna be a good movie, but it was just a mess. Let's move on with another one that it was one of the biggest disappointments ever, and that is Velvet Buzzsaw. Also came out, I believe, in 2019, and it had Toni Collette and it had Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm like, this is gonna be amazing. And it had this cool concept where you're following characters that work at a museum, and they find one day all of these old paintings, and the guy that painted them has passed away, so they basically take them from him. And there's something special about those paintings, and then people suddenly start dying, and I was like, this just sounds so dark but so cool and interesting, and it's a concept that, it's nothing that I have seen before, so I was like really into it. But then the movie was just a mess. It was just boring, dragging. There was only a couple of good deaths in it, but that was about it. It was just like such a big disappointment. Next we have Malevolent from 2018, and this is supposed to be a cool ghost story, so I was like, yes. We're following a couple of friends that basically they fake that they can talk to the spirits, to the dead, and they kind of charge people for their services, in which they go to your house that you believe it's haunted, and they help you to get rid of the ghost until they get to a house where there's actually ghosts, and they are obviously not prepared because they have been faking it all this time. And this movie had so much potential. Is one of the things that really annoyed me. It just had so much potential, but it just didn't get there. It was kind of boring, and it was messy again, and the character development was non-existent. So you didn't care about the characters at all, and I don't know, it's just such a pity because the movie had some good parts, some good scenes, but it just fell flat. The next one is Bird Box from 2018, and this one is gonna be controversial. I'm aware of it, and yes, I'm gonna be that biatch, and it's because I read the book, and the book was so much better. Hear me out. So there were some changes made in the movie that were unnecessary and stupid, if you ask me, and the deaths in the movie were not even as bloody or gory as they were in the book. Who knows why? We are basically in a world in which there is an apocalypse that happened, and there is these creatures that appear one day, and if you see them, you kind of go nuts and you kind of kill yourself. So people figure that out and start to protect themselves, going into homes closing the windows and wearing blindfolds and trying to survive. So we are following the survivors after the, you know, apocalypse happened. And the book was just so scary and creepy and disgusting and gory, and the movie was not. And that's one of the things that really bothered me. Plus, like I said, there were some things added in the movie just for Hollywood reasons, I guess. Even though this is a Netflix exclusive, but you know what I mean. I just don't want to get too much into detail in case you have not watched it, guys. But the book is getting a sequel this year, so I am questioning if Netflix is also going to adapt that as well. Let's go to the next disappointment, The Open House from 2018, a movie where literally nothing happens. Yay! So I was excited because we have here another situation in which there is a house that it's supposed to be haunted. Things start to happen, and basically, yeah, that's the plot. There is nothing else to this movie, and it was just boring and dragging, and I was so disappointed. From 2017 we have Little Devil, and this one I guess I also did not like because I'm not a huge fan of horror combined with comedy, and this one just failed for me. I didn't think it was funny at all, and it's about this couple that realize one day that their 5-year-old son is basically the devil's son, and it had a couple of funny moments or whatever, but I just thought it was kind of boring and not all the jokes landed. It was okay for a watch, but definitely not something I would rewatch. Moving on with Secret Obsession. So this is more kind of like a psychological thriller than horror, but I wanted to give it a try because I also like thrillers a lot. And it is about this girl that went through a trauma, and she wakes up at the hospital with amnesia, and her husband that she does not even recognize takes her home, and with time she starts to remember things, and then she realizes that her life is in danger. It was very repetitive, and it was again one of those movies that not much happens. There is no real tension or anything like that, and you can see things coming from the very beginning in a way. Like a lot of things are revealed at the beginning which they could have saved up for later. So I think there is a point in the beginning when you're like, so okay, so why move on with the movie now? Because you already see what's coming, you know, you can already tell the rest of the movie. So yeah, it's one of those movies that I think they try to shock you and tell you so much at the beginning so that you are really invested, and then what they do is kind of they spoiled everything else for you. Then we have Clinical from 2017. I don't remember too much about this one because I think I watched it when it came out, so it's been a long time. But it's about this psychiatrist that one of her patients attacked her, and in order to kind of recover from this trauma, she takes a new patient, and then also weird shit starts to happen. But yeah, I remember it was again one of those movies that it's not a slow burn movie, it's just a slow movie in which, you know, you just lose the interest on the movie and the characters. At least for me, I don't know if this is going to be a controversial opinion, but this movie was just a little bit pointless for me. The other one from 2017, but that I just recently watched, is this Australian movie called Cargo. It's one of those movies that I'm like, I'm gonna love this one because it's a post-apocalyptic scenario and it looks like there's gonna be zombies or something, and I was like, yes please. And yeah, finally watched it. And hear me out, I think this is a really good movie, but it was disappointing in the sense that in the first 10 minutes of the movie there is a stupid decision that is made that it's basically the reason why we have the whole movie, and that already bothered me a little bit. But not just that, it was like the whole movie was a compilation of bad decisions made by the main character that you know are bad decisions. I kind of tried to justify that to myself, being like, what would you do in that position? You know, like, it is of course human to make mistakes, to make bad decisions. Like, we all have all of these moments where we make bad decisions, but like one after the other, one after the other one. I was like, I don't know, like this movie had so much potential because I think it's beautifully shot. I think the story is nice, it's really original. And we are basically living in a post-apocalyptic world after they had like a zombie apocalypse, and so there are very few humans remaining, and there is this guy that is trying to get to safety with his daughter. So we follow his story, and you know, there were many good things about this movie. Some of the characters were great. And I loved this kind of new twist that they brought with the zombies, and how, you know, how to kill them, how to survive, all of these things. Like, I thought it had so many good things, and this is one of those movies that it is not bad per se. I think from the whole list, this is the one that I actually enjoyed the most. It's just that all of these bad decisions that were made were kind of keeping me like, oh no, you know, and you're getting this feeling like you're not able to enjoy the movie as much because you know what's coming, because you know the decisions the main character is making, they're all poor decisions. So you know where this is leading. But yeah, apart from that, it was actually a good movie. So, you know, it's just for me, it was disappointing in that way, that I didn't find myself enjoying it as much as I thought I would. But it is definitely a great zombie movie that I would recommend. And these were 9 of my least favorite horror movies, Netflix exclusive. Like I said, some of them are kind of in the gray area. It's not like they were bad movies, but I was disappointed for one reason or the other. I was expecting so much more out of them, and they had so much more potential. And other ones were just plain bad, let's be honest. Let me know down below which is your favorite and least favorite Netflix exclusive, horror or not. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you don't want to miss any more horror content. And also click the notification bell before you leave as well. All my other social media is listed in the description box down below. If you want to see movie reviews from me, I do have a Letterboxd account. It's linked down below. And I hope to see you guys in the next coffee time. Bye!